This is Sam. How's it going?
Very nice to meet you.
Myron's Extreme Machines.
Yes.
I wanted to get, just a cool tour and a little bit of background about your store.
Welcome to Myron's Extreme Machines, home of the Electric Bicycle Center.
Yeah.
We've been doing electric bikes since 1988.
Cool.
Which is an amazing number because most people can't have lineage back that far.
Oh, man.
In the electric bike scene.
Not at all. Yeah. In fact, it almost feels like the early 2000s was, early days. And so 88.
Correct. So being in the 80s, our first kit that we installed was actually a Palmer electric tricycle kit for a gentleman that had a stroke. His wife worked in Buena Park at Knox Berry Farm.
Oh,
they came into our store, and we were a moped shop back then, and we were just starting to sell the GoPed brand.
And is that what we still have? Like
yes,
here?
So the GoPed brand goes back 27 years. Along with that, though, we started selling electric bikes, and as the electric bikes started getting more popular, I would say it was around 2007 that we really started seeing a shift. Now, before that, we sold brands like ETC, New Century, Zap products. There was a company called Zap World, and we sold a friction drive kit and bikes from them as well. We saw the EV Warrior come and go. We saw the Icoca's bike, the e-bike, and everything else. But everything prior to 2007 was heavy and had limited range with these big lithium battery, lead acid batteries rather, and they were slower, and they were kind of like tanks. And a lot of the people in the bike industry had an experience with an electric bike, and they associate still to this day in some instances an electric bike is just this big heavy beast of a bike, and it's not anything that is what a current electric bike is. And it was around 2007 going to Interbike that we started seeing a shift. We started seeing nickel metal hydride batteries, and by 2008 the race was on with new innovation and lithium batteries being implemented onto the electric bikes. So welcome, let's come on in, we'll give you a little tour. We still have the GoPed brand that we're selling.
And a go-kart, that's cool.
That's the Go Quad. Those were a blast, too much fun on four wheels.
Getting around.
GoPed made electric scooters as well.
Really?
And I have the prototype, first hoverboard that he ever made. Myself and his attorney, back in '98 I think, had the first full suspension electric hoverboards.
What does that mean? Okay, hoverboard?
That was the name of it. It was called a hoverboard.
Okay.
And it had 4 lead acid batteries in it, full suspension, regenerative braking.
Wow.
It was friction drive, but it was totally ahead of its time for that time period. And it's been evolving and changing over the years. Now they have the ESR 750, which is a 1,000-watt, chain-driven, both lead acid or lithium-powered scooter that's offered by GoPed.
Wow. Okay, so but you don't none of the electric GoPeds today, right?
We do in the back. We'll show you some back there.
Okay,
We're actually building a couple right now for sale. And I want to show you one other unique model that came out for a short period of time.
Let's do it.
This is a Lear 4-stroke powered GoPed, ran on propane.
Whoa.
So this is a propane powered 4-stroke, much more quiet, more neighborhood friendly, and zero emissions.
Okay.
And it just goes to show you that the scooter industry has done more than just gasoline. They have propane, electric, there's lots of different, and if you actually look at the VC code for California, 407.5, it states that it has to be electric powered, and there's a subsection B that says any form of energy. And Steve Patman actually developed a pneumatic powered scooter that ran off of a compressed air tank.
It's like a jackhammer or something.
And that was what amended the bill and the actual VC code. It was the Senate Bill SB 441 actually here in California.
Wow.
And the actual VC code is 407.5, identifying a motorized scooter as a non-motor vehicle. No licensing, registration, or insurance were required originally. In 2005, they did amend that again and stated that you have to have a driver's permit to operate it. But these are not motor vehicles in that you don't have to license or register or insure them.
Is that the whole speed thing? Do you want to comment, or would you mind commenting on the whole 20-mile-per-hour plus speed pedelec thing that's happening with Specialized?
With motorized scooters, it was 15 miles an hour is the actual law for
more
motorized
like the
scooters.
European standard.
And then with the electric bikes, it's the 20-mile-an-hour limit. But you're seeing more and more manufacturers with the pedal assist going over that. And that's a little controversy, but it seems like that's what the customers are wanting and what they've been demanding. And if that's where it's heading toward, then you offer the customer what they're wanting. So we offer both a 20-mile-an-hour bike. We offer bikes that only go 15 miles an hour. but you have a broad spectrum so that the customer can make that decision and that choice on what they want to purchase.
It's neat. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback. And, you know, as someone who's commuted to work before and can pedal over 20 miles per hour, I can understand the argument for this sort of the speed pedelec movement. And,
you know, we were just camping a couple weeks back over the holidays for Thanksgiving, and we had a 40-mile commute to get to work every day. We didn't get home until like way after dark.
Yeah.
And it was quite fun. And I tried a couple different brands as we were out there riding them. And some brands, I was riding a Haibike, and it was a mountain bike, and it seemed like at about 19.5 miles an hour, it literally felt like somebody was putting on a dynamic brake and slowing me down. Whereas another day I was riding an Easy Motion 29er, I had a really good tailwind, and I was up to 25 miles an hour.
I've noticed that. The Easy Motion bikes, the Neo line in particular, tends to go a little above 20.
So if you got a good tailwind and you get the good rhythm going, you don't even realize you're doing all the work. The bike is cut out at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But, you know, as you're going along with that tailwind, you're maintaining that 25 mile an hour speed, and then as time goes by, maybe what's going to happen is you're going to get a little bit tired, and you're going to slow down to 20, and then you feel that little assist coming in and helping you out again.
Got it. Okay, well, sorry to get us derailed. So, yeah, continue showing me around. With
You know, the biggest trick we have here is bringing in all these bikes at the end of the day into this small area.
Yeah, is that where they all sit? Like
we
right
make
here?
the claim of being the biggest electric bike shop in Southern California. We don't have the biggest shop, but I think we have the biggest selection.
Yeah.
That's probably 60 bikes out there from as many as 13 different manufacturers we have out in front there that we offer to the consumer. So this is like the superstore of electric bikes that you can come into, like the Cerritos Auto. That's a local auto shop place you can go to that has all the different brands.
Yeah.
And being able to offer that to the customer is key, because instead of going online or going to a typical electric bike shop that only carries 1 or 2 brands, you'll be able to test ride, you know, 3 or 4 different brands. Here,
we'll get a feel
you have
for it.
a full lineup from cargo, from mountain bikes, from cruisers. We carry 7 different brands of folding bikes from 4 different manufacturers.
Oh, man.
Utility bikes, hybrid bikes.
What's the most popular around here? Like, what are some of your best sellers?
Our best sellers have been the Motive for the beach cruiser.
Okay, here, let's step out there. I want to show it up close so people can... So that's these ones down here that we were looking at. Is that good balance on the battery pack back there?
Yeah, it's a nice bike. I think the best thing to say about the Motive is it's simplistic, and it's got its weight distributed very low on the frame, so you don't feel the weight of the bike when you're riding it.
Right.
It has no pedal assist, although Cameron, the owner, has installed pedal assist on some of these for my customers.
That's cool.
That costs a little extra, but if you have to have it, he's willing to do that.
It's a nice feature, yeah, if you get that added.
Moving on my most popular selling folding bike would be the full suspension EG. This is the Vienna 250EX.
Right.
This bike is 250 watts. It has a 10 amp hour, 24 volt battery on it.
Yep. Cute little thing back here. It's removable, right?
Frog battery on the back, as they call it.
Yep. Lights.
And it folds up, and this has been our best seller as far as the folding bikes.
Is that a popular category for you guys? No folders?
Yes, it is. Actually, you'd be surprised how many people come in and buy a folding bike for various reasons. From college students, and
with limited space, right?
And also, we got a lot of older Asian guys from down in Garden Grove and here in Fullerton, Evie, that want to go out fishing somewhere. They park their Honda Civic, they pull out their little folding bike, and it takes them that last half mile to their little fishing spot, you know?
Sweet.
And they use their little folding bike to get from point A to point B. It's fantastic.
Good feedback. Okay.
Okay, we're moving on now to our most popular selling road bike. Last year it's been the Dash.
Yeah.
And this is the new 2015 model. And this has just been a really popular seller. This bike has stolen a lot of sales from Easy Motion, whereas before we'd sell the Cross and we'd sell the Carbon.
Just right over here.
Yeah, they're inside the shop there. They're not selling like they used to because this thing has just taken over that market share for us, it seems like.
It's been popular on the site as well. So just to be clear, IZIP E3 Dash, and this looks like the 2015 model here.
It is
with
the 2015, yes, that is correct.
The paint jobs kind of upgraded, the seat. Still, this is also a speed pedelec, right? So 28 mile per hour?
Yes.
If you need to take that.
Yeah,
completely understand.
Myron, how can I help you?
He's a busy guy around here. Yeah, and these are some of the Easy Motion trail bikes. I'll show the Cross that he was talking about real quick here. Yeah, here it is, Neo Cross. So we've got a similar setup with this one has a geared rear hub motor, 350 watt, versus the Dash has a 500 watt gearless direct drive, a little bit quieter, a little bit heavier on that bike. Both of them have sort of the mid-mounted batteries, but this one, it's a little bit more integrated. So Easy Motion, you know, it's the electric bike that doesn't look like one. That's their tagline, and it's really true. They're beautiful, beautiful bikes. But yeah, when you're looking at that speed pedelec option and some of the other stuff with the dash. Hey, are you ready to?
Yeah, we'll continue on. So we were talking about the folding bike, the best cruiser. Probably our best-selling mountain bike lately actually has been the full suspension version of the Haibike.
Really? Oh, that 27.5?
Yes.
Ah, I love that bike.
What?
Yeah.
We've sold probably 4 or 5 of those, and I thought at that price point we'd sell one a year.
Yeah,
but
like
you know what? If
5,000
you stock it, they'll come and they'll buy it.
Okay.
And those that have seeking that out, we sold just one about a week ago to a 12-year-old kid. He drove from north of Magic Mountain, I think a town called Valencia.
Yeah.
His dad brought him down here, and you should have seen the smile on that kid's face.
Oh, yeah.
When he went for a test ride on that bike and they loaded it up and took it home.
And when you're not
awesome.
16 yet, and you said he was 12?
He was 12
I mean, there's
years old.
freedom in these bikes. They can climb anything. They're just super responsive. It is a lot to spend, but it's less than insurance and driver's license and a car.
Yeah, you know? He looked like he was like a 3rd-degree black belt at 12 years old. This kid was special. You could tell by just having him coming in the shop, and the smile on his face was priceless. Definitely.
Okay.
Moving on from there, our best cargo bike has been the Juice Rider bike.
Okay, yeah, Juice Rider's ODK V3 or something.
This is
like
the
that?
V3. We started with the V1, the V2s, and the V3. I have one customer up in Tehachapi that's had a version 1, a V2, and now the V3. And we hand deliver that bike to him 3 times now. We've gone to his place out in Tehachapi, and I don't think you're going to find anybody. I remember about a year ago, just before Burning Man, we had a customer in Santa Barbara that we couldn't mail it in time. He bought 2 bikes from us.
Yeah.
And then from Santa Barbara, we drove to Tehachapi and dropped off that gentleman his Juice Rider bike. So that was a full day of delivering electric bikes.
That's awesome that you offer that service. So
Yeah.
in certain cases, like,
It's that extra mile you go. We do pickup and delivery for customers with tricycles,
Yep.
especially the elderly that cannot or have transportation to get it. We actually will go to their house and we will fix the trike right at their house for them.
that's awesome.
And we just charge them a little bit of labor and then the part to install it, but it helps them out a lot.
And that was your significant other before who had set up the trike for the other gentleman,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, she does an excellent job. If you need to take that again,
busy.
he's a busy shop. Yep,
Myron's how can I help you?
Neat to see all these bikes, and of course get the story, you know, the background from someone who's been in the industry a little bit longer. You know, offering some different bikes. As I was saying before, some of these IZIP models are actually a little bit older. You know, Myron will get the bikes, you know, and they do a great job servicing them. In fact, I haven't seen this one ever, the IZIP. It's like Urban Cruiser Enlightened. Maybe a precursor to like the Zuma or something like that. Kind of got the suspension seat post and kind of a basic fork on this thing. What's your longest standing brand? What's the
Probably Curry.
Curry Technologies? Yeah,
we
that's
started with-
IZIP and Haibike.
Yeah, well back then it was
EZIP, which they
I
don't
think it
carry,
was
right?
at that time. They actually went through some changes too. We started with that company, it was Curry Technologies, with Malcolm Curry actually, and I dealt with him directly.
The guy, the scientist.
The
or
actual
whatever.
guy, yeah. So what we did was, we started selling that brand in the late 90s, I'd say around 98.
Okay.
And we carried it till about 2003, and then we dropped the line from 2003 to about 2007 because of some quality issues with the company. And then we started carrying it again around 2007.
So that you feel like they've done a good job in there. picking
Larry
back up.
has done a great job of repairing their reputation. I mean, there are a lot of companies out there from back in the day that just had a very sour taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
But that was a different company back in those days, and it's a whole different operation now.
And he's on the forum sometimes, back at Electric Bike Review. He really does a lot, helping
He
people.
is a good advocate in more than just one area as well.
Okay, so if we can get back to the stuff, you were going to take me backstage, right? You're going to show
Yeah,
me
let's go into the shop. We'll show you the work area back there, and we'll check out some other things. Before we
Sam.
leave and go into the back, I also want to mention.
Are these guys giving you a wave here?
Hey, what's up, guys?
He's the man.
We've been coming here ever since he was a little kid.
Awesome.
Man.
Hey, these guys are bike fans.
Yeah.
We definitely got it going on.
Yeah, back in the day was the GoPed. The point I wanted to make out here is
Thanks, man.
there's probably 8 bikes currently out here in this front area that are priced under $9.99.
Oh, wow.
You will not find that at most other electric bike shops. You're going to have to go to Amazon or Walmart online to find that.
And then you're not
going
going to get support. And
You won't get the support. At
Or the
Myron's,
quality, I guess.
We carry that. We carry that. Here's a perfect example. This is a 2013 path from IZIP for $8.99.
Nice.
And it's a lithium bike with a 250 watt motor, 24 volt.
Yeah.
That's a great bike, a little commuter.
Just get around
And,
town.
You know, the great grandfather of this was called the Via Rapido.
Okay.
And that was probably around 2008 or 2009. And that was the first lithium bike that we started to sell in quantity, you know,
Okay.
in volume. And before that, it was just lead acid powered bikes. This predecessor to this bike was definitely a key bike in our transition into selling higher end bikes.
Okay.
I mean, we're selling bikes now for over $5,000 a piece, but we still sell the bikes for $599.
Yeah, I was noticing, like, yeah, some of these are all past years. None of these are
This
current
is
year.
2010, 11, 12, 13.
Okay, and then that's why they're a little bit cheaper. You kind of
They're definitely
clearing
cheaper,
out
yeah.
all their
They're
inventory.
blowing them out.
Okay.
When they're overstocked and they haven't sold them at the end of the year, you can get those really good deals on them.
Well, we're
And-
blowing my battery out too, so let's get back. I don't want to miss anything
All
here.
right, come on in. We'll give you the tour real quick.
Okay, here we go. We're going back in.
So there's our small little showroom area,
Yep,
and then into the back we go where we do the service work.
that's where the magic happens. Look
Yeah.
at this.
Shipping room.
Oh yeah.
We've got some used bikes in here for sale.
Oh, really? Do you do that on like consignment or something?
No, we actually will sell used bikes. Someone will trade a bike in and then we'll go to sell it.
Okay.
Pardon me.
No worries.
Myron,
Look at that. So people trade in their old used bikes and maybe get a discount or something on a new bike, and then these guys fix it up and sell it. That's kind of cool. Got like kind of a modified motive there. This is another shop area he was talking about. Look at all the parts. Oh my gosh. Yeah. When you're in business this long, I suppose you end up with a lot of little extras kind of laying around. Oh, look at that. Curry Electro Drive. So this is maybe one of their scooters.
That's what I'm talking about. When you're at the top.
Okay, so we finished that phone call.
Yeah, we're
there's
coming in the back, so-
more rooms. I can't even believe it. And you've got your shower is full of bikes too.
Yeah, this
What's
used
going
to be a
on?
massage parlor. So
Oh,
there were a lot of
really?
rooms in here where
Oh
we
my
have different
God.
things going on.
What kind of massage parlor was this here in
Let's
Fullerton?
just say they had happy endings.
Happy ending. Oh man. Well, there's always a happy ending at Myron's Extreme
I think
Machines.
so too. So now we're back in kind of the junkyard back here.
Look at this.
This is the scooter graveyard. There's probably a dozen different manufacturers of scooters back here on the wall. And this is where the service work gets done on both scooters and bikes. We have actually a bike in right now that was sold by a competitor, and he doesn't want to do the warranty work on it. So we told him, come on over here and we'll take care of it
That's
for you.
nice. Yeah. So that back to kind of supporting stuff. Go
You
for it.
have to,
I know you
thanks.
got to take it.
So we got new product in stock back here.
Didn't you tell me a story, Sam, where you bought like a whole bunch of the GoPed inventory? So you're kind of like the guy to go to for that
There's
stuff?
probably been, no, that's the moped inventory.
Okay.
And we sold that portion of the business in 2001.
Okay.
In the late 80s, the moped industry had pretty much fizzled out, and a lot of people were trying to get out of the moped industry. So I went around as a new owner in the late 80s, and from Lancaster to San Diego, I probably bought 12 complete moped shops for
Wow.
a penny on the dollar. And that's over at Myron's Mopeds, which is located 3 miles straight down the road here in Fullerton on Commonwealth, where I moved the shop to in 1988.
Wait, and let's get something straight. You're not Myron.
No,
Okay,
Myron was my mentor. He was the guy that started Myron's Mopeds
Okay.
back in the mid-'70s. I started working for Myron in '82.
Got it.
I'd won an award as Motorcycle Mechanic of the Year through ROTC, I think it was.
Like
And the
military training, so ROTC?
No, it wasn't ROTC. It was something else. It was some school program that they had.
Okay, cool.
And then the Kiwanis Club presented me with a plaque. And afterwards, the shop teacher actually put me in touch with Myron, and we just hit it off really well. He was my mentor. He instilled in me wanderlust. I've traveled the world based off of all his stories of as a merchant marine before World War II and being in Alaska in the 1920s as a carpenter. And just a fabulous guy. We would sit at lunch and I would hear all these fabulous stories. He eventually retired to Costa Rica
Wow.
with his wife.
Is he still there, like hanging out with
No,
sloths?
I think Myron and his wife are probably have passed now.
Maybe, okay.
It's been a few years since I talked to him last, and Myron's wife's cousin actually became president of Costa Rica and won the Nobel Peace Prize.
What?
While
Oh
he
my
was
gosh.
farming cotton down in Costa Rica, and Marina was raising their son in San Jose.
Jeez.
So a very well-traveled guy, super cool, old school, and taught me how to be honest in business and how a good day's work is going to get you money, and there's no shortcuts. You know, you've got to put the work in and at the end you'll do well. And it's shown. If you're established as long as I have, your customers will bring in more business through word of mouth.
Yeah.
And that's the best advertising you can have.
Well, clearly popular store. And something that's a little bit alternative. I mean, you've been in this space that's it's given a lot of people something different that can maybe improve their lives.
Originally, it was mopeds for us.
Yeah.
And Myron also sold bikes back in the day and skateboards.
Okay.
For me, it went from mopeds into selling the motorized scooters and the electric bikes.
Right.
And now the motorized scooters are kind of fading out the way mopeds did in the late 80s. And now it's going to be electric bikes. And I really feel electric bikes are going to continue to go stronger and bigger as time goes by. I have no doubt that I'll be doing electric bikes until I retire.
Wow.
Which will be another 15 years from now, probably.
Right.
But now until then, it's a party, it's fun time, and what we do is we sell fun and freedom here at Myron's Extreme Machines.
Cool. Well, it's been a real pleasure getting to see all your stuff and hear the stories about, the space.
We've got a lot more stories. You just hit the tip of the iceberg. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say before we... was there like the floater, whatever, hoverboard thing?
Oh, let's come on over. I'll show you what the hoverboard looks like.
Yeah.
So
get some stock footage of that.
This is an old school hoverboard right here from the 90s. And this is the first, electric full suspension scooter that was mass marketed, I believe.
Wow.
There was another company called Dadsy that sold electric bikes, scooters rather. And there's one in the corner over there. And he goes way back about 37, 40 years.
Wow.
And he started making electric bikes, Duffy boats down in Newport. And but GoPed's the brand that I'm very well familiar with, and we've made a lot of kids and adults happy with the GoPed brand scooter over the years.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be electric bikes. You wait and see.
Well, there we go. Right on cue. Thank you so much, Sam.
Always busy.
Well, for more stories and reviews, I'll see you back at electricbikereview.com.